welcome back to another video. I am back today with the color along I'm currently working on in Maria Trolle's Botanicum. We are working on a page in here with a beautiful bunny on it and lots of different flowers. In this video we are going to move on to one of the next flowers on the page. We have 2 flowers left and I did pull up some pictures. I'm going to try to match up my colors to the pictures so that I could color the flowers as you would see them in real life. If you check the description box down below, you will find links down there to my Facebook group, my email list, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you would like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. If you would like to find more information out about that, you can click the join button down below the video. So here's the page that we've been working on, and we've done quite a few videos already. This was a fur tutorial. And then these flowers here were showing you how to color very small objects on your coloring pages, but still adding all that extra depth and dimension that you want. And I showed you 2 different ways to do that. And then we colored these flowers down here. They're absolutely beautiful. I love these. And I did use a Google image to color these with, and I love how they turned out. And my goal here was to make these flowers at the bottom the focal point of the page. I really, really love them. And I think that they are going to do that with these bright beautiful oranges and yellows. I even added a little bit of the yellow into the leaves just to bring some of the yellow from the flowers into the leaves, just to create a little bit of a balance and to make them look a little bit different than these up here that I just used 2 colors for. So now we have 2 sets of flowers left, and I did pull up some images. I think that today in this video we're going to color these flowers. This flower here is actually called an Astrantia major. I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. Some of these names of these flowers I just have no clue how to say. So I'm just trying. So these flowers have many different variations as far as colors, and I've noticed, I'll zoom this in just a little bit, but I've noticed a lot of them on the petals have a little bit of green, and so I'm a little bit worried about these and the fact that they've got green behind with these stems. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this and make them look like this, but I love the pink that is in here in this flower, and I love how the pink looks with the greens. That looks a little bit like it might be the Prismacolor Mulberry, and that's a beautiful color. And then I have this one here, and it looks like it has a lot of shades of lavender and lilac, and then there in the center it looks a lot like mulberry as well. And then there are variations in color that look like this, but even still on this one it does still have a lot of white on the petals. And so I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do this. I might do a combination of some of these, but if you look here at the flowers, you can see that again we have a lot of very small teeny tiny spaces to color. So I'm going to have to try to figure out how I'm going to do this. And then these down here that we have to color, these are geraniums, and these here are the leaves that go with the geraniums. The leaves of the geraniums are very, very unique, but they're very pretty. Here's the picture I found of the geranium. And so I'm pretty sure those are geraniums, and then you can see the leaves look very similar, but there are different variations of leaves depending on the kind of geranium it is. But a lot of these are purple, and so I think I'm going to end up coloring these purple in a future video, but I think today we're going to go ahead and color these. Now since these flowers up here I already did pink and red, I feel like if I do these down here purple, and then I do these here where they're sort of like lavender, I think it will help to tie these 2 together. I definitely don't want to do these pink because I don't want them to look too much like the ones that are right next to them. So I think we're going to start over here on this side to do the tutorial because these have a little bit more space, and I think they'll be a little bit easier to do the tutorial part of the video. Now as I've done with the rest of this color along, I will come back and color these so that y'all could see all parts, and it will probably be another video with a little bit of music and a little bit of commentary with it. So I'm looking mainly at this flower here, and I'll zoom it in a little bit so y'all could see it. But I did choose some colors here. I did go ahead and pick a gray. This is 10% cool gray along with my white because I feel like I'm going to need a little bit of gray just to make it look white. And then when I come back and I do a background, it will make the parts of the petals that are white look a lot whiter, but I do plan on doing a background. And then I have mulberry. You can see a lot of the mulberry right there in the center. And then I chose a light green. I went and pulled another green because I don't know which one matches better. Maybe I'll end up using two of them. I don't know yet, but I have spring green and then I have sap green light. I may go ahead and use the sap green light. I really don't know yet. I'm just choosing my colors and then I will decide which ones I pull. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that's usually how I do it. But I'm really excited about this one because it gives me a chance to pull out the two discontinued Prismacolors. I've got my lilac and my lavender, and I see a lot of both of these colors in here. So I'm going to add both of these colors in here along with the mulberry, and I think these three look really pretty together. So we're going to see what we can come up with. The centers of these flowers look very different than the actual flower. So I don't know how I'm going to go about that. I may have to bring in a Posca or something else too. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I really need to make the center pop and stand out and really look nice. But I want to be able to do the petals very much how they look in real life. And I don't even know if I'm going to have enough room to do that. Let me go ahead and start and then we'll see what I can come up with. I think I'm going to start by laying down a little bit of this 10% cool gray, and I'm going to see what I can do here, but I think this is going to make it look white, and I'm trying to cover up some of the line art, or at least go over it. And I may grab a Posca or something and go over it a little bit more. I don't know yet, but I do want to make these look white. Now I have the mulberry, and there's lots of lines going through like this on the picture, but I do want to make this look very much like what I'm seeing in the picture. So I'm drawing little lines with my mulberry, and these spaces are so small. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to use the other colors. Oh, I think that's going to be super pretty. Okay, so I have my lavender, and I'm going to try to spread this color out just a little so it doesn't look like a line. Now this is the photo here where we had a little bit of green tips, and I saw that a whole lot when I was looking through images of this particular flower. And so I do want to add a little bit of the green on the tips of some of the petals. I'm going to go ahead and try first with the sap green light because the sap green light is a different color than what I used over here. But I'm only going to add a little bit of the green on the ones that don't have a stem laying behind them. Maybe I'll go down a little bit further on this one, and I'm using a little bit harder pressure to really get that green in there. And then these have green behind them, so I'm going to leave those alone. So I'm just going to have the green on just these two here. So now I'm going to grab my white. I'm going to see if I could just pull these colors together a little bit. Okay, so I think I'm going to need my really thin Posca to get rid of the line art. Let's go ahead and try this and see what happens here. I think that's going to be super pretty, especially when we come back and do a background. Oh wow, I love it. Now you can come back in color right over Posca, so I'm probably going to have to, after it dries, come back with a little bit of that green. I got rid of most of the line art. Let me try this one now. Now, if y'all are beginners and you are just stumbling across this video and just discovered this hobby, Posca pens are so much fun. They can be used for so many different things, like adding highlights, getting rid of the lines. I am going to have to go back over all of those petals because I do need to add the green back in and such, and maybe go over the Posca and lighten it up a little bit with the white. I don't know, we'll see. So I think I've decided to go ahead into the center and just use these two colors. Of course, it's going to look a little bit different than what we see in the Google image, but I feel like this will be really pretty when it's done, and we're bringing some of the colors from the outside or from the petals into the center of the flower. But I'm going to do these with a little bit of the lavender and a little bit of green, and I'm already thinking what I want to do after this. But let me go ahead and add a little bit of the green in here too. This is my lavender, and I'm just trying to get the second layer in here. Now I think I want to darken it up a little bit, so I grabbed the mulberry and I'm going to see what I can do over here. Maybe add a little bit of this in certain places. Oh, I love these colors. Now notice I didn't use the lilac either. I thought I was going to, but I don't think that we're going to need it. Again, the spaces on this flower are so super small that it would make it rather difficult to be able to get all of these colors in here. And I think that these three colors for the center are working really nicely. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the spring green, and I'm going to do the spring green right here on some of these. Oh, I like that. So we'll just use the spring green and the sap green light. And I'm going to blend a little bit more of this right here and over the top of where I added that spring green. I think the spring green gave it that little pop that it needed. But I love these colors together. Maybe the spring green will work better on the edges of these petals. Let me see. And again, we're going right over the Posca just to add some green tips to a couple of these petals. And then this one up here doesn't have any green behind it, so let's make the tip on this one green too. And then these here, let's make the tip a little bit darker. And look how that Posca really intensifies the color when you lay your colored pencil right over the top of it. Let's go ahead and blend some of this mulberry right into that green, right over that Posca. Okay, so when I started this, I did not think I was going to like it this much. But I really actually love it. Okay, I have my lavender again, and I'm just going to blend a little bit of this right in there, but I still do want to see some of the white. I'm just using this to blend some of these colors out a little bit. Oh my gosh, I love that. Let's see if we can make a few of these just a little bit darker by adding another layer. Okay, so right here on the outer side of the center of the flower where I wanted to add green, I grabbed my grass green because I want to come right out here and just add a little bit of depth, only where I have the green on the outside. And using the darker color helps to add the extra depth and dimension. Oh my goodness, I think that is so pretty. Okay, so I need to finish this one and this one now that I know what I'm doing. So I grabbed my white Prismacolor and I'm just going to come in here and go over a little bit of this just to add that white back in there. I can't wait to see how these flowers look after I come in and do a background. Oh, I love that so much. And we probably didn't need the gray. I guess the gray was good in the beginning because it gave me that initial layer. So that way I was able to take the darker color and blend it right in there without creating such a harsh line. So I think I'm going to do it that way again, and I'm going to lay an initial layer of the 10% cool gray. And then I just came in and made my lines with the mulberry. And then maybe I'll use the lilac for this one. Maybe this one will look a little bit different than the other flowers, so this way they don't look exactly the same. And then we'll see which one I like better, but I think they'll look pretty when we have two different variations in some of those petals. So now I have my sap green light, and I'm going to add some of this color in here. And I think for this one, we're going to be able to add a lot more green to the edges because I don't have any of them that are up against one of the stems from the other flower. And maybe a couple of them I'll use the spring green and just go over it to brighten it up just a bit. And now I have my Posca, and just like we did before, we're just going to go over the lines. This is the thinnest Posca. I think that Posca actually has a finer point than this one, but I don't have that one. I've had it on my wish list forever. I just need to go ahead and order it, but I was waiting till this Posca ran out and was no longer working. But this one does a really nice job of covering the black lines. The Posca takes a minute to dry, so if you ever make a mistake with your Posca, just wipe it off with your finger. And if you put Posca somewhere you don't want it and you decide after it's dry, you can just scrape it right off of your coloring page or just go over it with your colored pencils. So don't ever be afraid of mistakes. Okay, so now we just need to come back over it and add some of that color back in. I think I'm going to go over it with the white first. Actually, I think we're going to do the center first because I want to wait for this to dry. So I want to do this one a little bit different than I did the other one. So let me go ahead and add some of the mulberry up here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add some of the spring green down in here, and then a little bit right here into the mulberry. Then I have the sap green light, and I'm going to blend that right into the spring green and pull it out over this way. And now I have the lilac instead of the lavender, and I'm going to blend some of this right between the mulberry and the apple green, and then out into the edge over here. And this one is quite interesting. I think I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a pop by blending some of the lavender in here as well. And then I think I want a little bit of the lavender down here. I'm just going to put it right over the green. Now I have the grass green, and I'm just going to go over this just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension right at the edge. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing up here at the edge, and then a little bit of the spring green again. That is definitely an interesting combination of colors, but I think I like it. I am going to take a little bit of the mulberry and blend it in over here just to create a little bit of balance between the sides, and then a little bit of lavender right here. So now the Posca on the petals should be dry, so I'm just going to come back in here and lay some more of this color. This is the mulberry, and I need to save a little bit of room for the green. So I have the spring green. And I'm going to use both the spring green and the sap green light, and I'm just blending these colors into one another. Still keeping a lot of that white there with this little teeny tiny small space that I have to work with. It's a little bit difficult. I'm sort of extending the petals just a little. And then I'm just going to grab my white and I'm going to blend these colors together. So now we need to do the third one. So I've got my 10% cool gray, and I'm just going to reserve all my white space here and make a first layer so that when I come back in with my mulberry, the line is not as harsh. It actually has something to blend into a little bit. And then I'm going to make my line on each one of the petals. How about we go ahead and do this one at the same time? We have this one over here that's just a little bit turned over, so that should be a fairly quick color. But I think I might want to do this one a little bit different. I might want to make that one look a little bit more white, like maybe white and lavender. Let me try the lavender. So I have a really sharp tip on my lavender pencil, and I'm just going to draw my line with the lavender on this one instead of the mulberry. And then I'm going to get rid of these white lines right away. Maybe I should have just gotten rid of the white lines right away on the others and then came back and went over them. It probably doesn't make a difference which way you do it, just these are so tiny. It didn't even get rid of the white lines all the way. I'm probably going to have to come back and go over that again after that dries. So I think I liked using the lavender better with the mulberry, so I'm just going to spread some of these lines out now with the lavender. And then I'm going to actually have oh, there's a stem I forgot to color back here. Okay, so I'm going to have to come back and color that, but I want to be careful. I'm using the spring green, but I want to be careful not to lay the green anywhere where I'm going to have green right behind it. So let me do this one, and then this one on this side, and then maybe a little bit right here. That one has green behind it, and then this one will have green behind it when I come back in and color that. We could probably add a little right here. And I think that's good for this one. So let's go ahead and get rid of our white lines now. And then we need to do the same to this one over here, and we need to just lay another layer because it didn't do a very good job the first time. So I have my lavender, and I'm just going to come in here and lay a little bit of this. I think I want a lot less green in this one. And I am using a little bit harder pressure because I really want to get that color down there and cover up some of that line art. I'm going to add a little bit of the lavender right in here. And then I left this little tiny space open right there for green. And I'm going to use the sap green light in there. So now I'm just going to come back and lay a second layer with my colors. And I'm going to blend it right into that green. That was the lavender. And now we're going to come back with a second layer of the mulberry. And then a second layer of the sap green light. Oh, I like that one. So now I just need to fix the petals. Let's re-add my green in here. It really helped to lay the colors down first because I could see where my colors are. And so it really just helps with placement a little bit. I have the lavender. And I'm going to blend some of that color right in to these other colors. Spread some of these colors out. And I think I need a little bit more mulberry here just to make them stand out. And now I'm going to come back with my white and whiten this up just a little bit and blend all the colors into one another. But I think these petals turned out even better than I had imagined they would. I really like them. I have my dark green and I'm just going to add a little pop of green, and then I'm going to go over it with my sap green light. Oh, I love these two colors together. Now I just need to fix this one here, and I think that I used the lavender, so I'm just going to add a little bit of lavender. I think maybe I want a little pop of green in the tips. Oh, how pretty. This is the spring green. Oh, I like that. Okay, so now I have my mulberry and I'm just using this to go along the edges just for a little bit of depth. And now I just need to do the center. And this should be fairly easy. This is the lavender and it's more so up against the green. So I think I'm just going to use the lavender and the mulberry. Actually, I just went over all of it with the mulberry, but I think that's really pretty. So now we just need to do the stems and the leaves, and I think I want to use the sap green light so we could bring that color down. And I'm going to do this just like I did all of the other ones, and I'm only going to use two colors. And then I think I'm just going to use the grass green. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this in here since it was the color I used on the inside of the flowers. And it's a different shade of green than I used on the rest of the stems. So here we're going over this other leaf. And so I want them to look a little bit different. See if I can accomplish that. Yeah, this green is quite a bit different. I have my deco yellow, and we used the deco yellow down here in these flowers. So let's see how this looks if I just add a pop of deco yellow in here. And I probably should have done it before I had so many layers down there, but you could still see it. It's giving it just a little bit of a pop, and I really like it. So when I go over here and I do the others in the next video, I will make sure I add that yellow right in there. So let me go ahead and add yellow to the leaves, and then I'll add some of my grass green. Okay, so now I'm blending a little bit of the sap green light right into that grass green. So usually when I'm coloring, the initial flower is usually the one where I'm trying to come up with my ideas if I've got like quite a few of them to color. So this is the one where I was trying to come up with my ideas, and I wanted to change it up a little bit in this one, and then I changed it up a little bit more over here, and then I really changed it up here since that one was a little bit different. I love this one, but I tend to do that all the time when I'm coloring and try to change them up a little bit. You can see that this one has a lot less green in. So when there's a lot of flowers really close to one another on a page, try to make each one of them look just a little bit different. Do different things to them. Like if you lay green in one place, then lay green in another place on the other flower. And that way they all look a little bit different and unique in their own way. In the next video, I will do these and then finish coloring those in. So I'll be able to sit and color these all by myself and listen to some music and really focus and concentrate on what I'm doing. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Everything you've seen me use in this video will be linked in the description box below. I will have the playlist for this color along in the upper right hand corner and linked down in the description box so that you can find it if you want to go back and start at the first video. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.